Good evening, Javier Franco. Perspective from my porch. My porch is next to me right there. I'm sitting away from it. It's right there somewhere. It's right there. So I'm not on my porch. I'm actually under my tree. I'm sitting here. I went fishing yesterday, and I had bought some worms. And I thought, well, you know what? I didn't use them all. I fed a lot of the fish, but I didn't use them all. So I thought, well, you know, somewhere where they can just spread out and do what they need to do. So I'm sitting here watching. I've been here probably about 5-10 minutes. You probably saying, well, Javier, you got way too much time on your hands. And now I need to get some stuff done. But I've been watching these worms. Slowly but surely, they've been going into the the pot of dirt that I got for them. And I don't know if you've ever taken just the time to watch worms or even ants do their job of doing things. I've been watching them. This little fella right here uh, with all the flies on it. Sorry, I just had to shoo them away. Uh, there's a couple of them that are going down. I think some of them are not alive, but this one right here in the middle, I don't know, this one right here has made its way into, he's been burrowing for a while. It's a while, and you can see the other ones that are going in right now. They're still alive, and it's just going in, and every now and then you'll see them move around and just go down. So anyway, I was watching these little worms go in and just track down and do their little jobs, and I was thinking to myself, years ago, my uncle Robert and I were staying at his house, and it was an afternoon. I remember it's an afternoon, and we sit on his porch, and there was an ant, and there was a piece of bread or something, and we watched it, and it went down some steps, very methodical, very interesting. If you've never watched ants, if you've never followed an ant with some food, I think you need to take time to do that, actually. Very interesting process. It went down the steps. It had obstacles along the way. There was a little stick. It dropped the food, and it looked at the little stick, and then it went around the stick. Literally looked around it, came back, picked up a piece of wood, piece of food that he was carrying, and went around the little stick, and then he just said, we sat there probably for about an hour, 2 hours maybe. I don't know how long. It was a while. And we sat there and watched this process being done. We watched this ant. We followed it around the house. And we just kept an eye on it. We just kept on following, and my uncle and I, and we had the afternoon off, I guess, but we sat there and watched it. Along the way, and this has been years ago, along the way, one of the things that I learned from those ants was that, one, they look at the obstacle, look around the obstacle, or try to climb the obstacle. Either way, the obstacle does not hinder them from making progress. As this ant was doing that, and the more as I've gotten older and as I've looked at things going on, I've looked at things like this, and I remember things like this and say, wow, if each one of us, when we run into an obstacle, if we look at that obstacle in a way that these ants were looking at it, this worms right here, they've gotten some obstacles along the way, but they're making their way down to where they're going to live. Eventually, they're going to go down. They're very slow moving. There's about 2 or 3 that had already disappeared. So yes, I've been sitting out here. My neighbors are probably going like, what is he doing out there? Then they'll see this and they'll say, oh yeah, that's our neighbor who does that. But anyway, as I was thinking about the obstacles that we encounter in life, how many times do we allow an obstacle to have us stop and not proceed forward? Yesterday, as I was fishing, I wanted to do a video, but I forgot my camera, and I didn't really want to set up. The wind was picked up anyway. And a friend of mine came over. He said, come sit with us. And there was an obstacle. One, I have to pick up all my stuff. I had carried a little plastic bag and carried all my hooks and my lures and my bait. I carried around. And then And there I go, push and with my rod and reel, and I go up this little hill, and I said, I hope I don't fall down. He says, well, if you fall down, you'll just have to roll around for a while and then get back up and try it again, and eventually you'll do it. I started laughing. I said, well, yeah, if I fall down, what am I going to do? And the answer is simple. Figure a way to get up. And that's it. Just figure a way to get up. I went to the area where they were fishing, and we were, and I have problems because I'm having to retrain my arm to cast again. But as I sat there and talked to them, I thought to myself, this is a small obstacle to many people, and they can overcome it, they can deal with it, and go on. Others, obstacles like that are major obstacles in their lives. And you have to train your mind to do it. You have to want to do it. When I was going to therapy, physical therapy, all the therapists would say, how bad do you want this? How bad do you want this? Cody out there would constantly tell me that. Mary would tell me that. Eddie would tell me that. Matilda would tell me that. How bad do you want this? And I had to put that in my mind. I had to do it. How bad did I want it? Yes, there was times I just gave up. There was times that I just didn't want to go to therapy, and there was times that I just didn't want to deal with it, and I would give up. But the next week I would come back, or the next time I would come back and say, okay, this is for my benefit. How am I going to get over it? There are times that I have to use my cane, and there are times that I don't have to use my cane, and I can walk a short distance without my cane. As long as the ground is level, I can walk it, and that's a big accomplishment for me. And there are times that I have to use my walker. It's just different times, and I think about that, and it's like that's an obstacle. That's an obstacle that I have to overcome, or I have to adjust to it, and with that adjustment, make a success with it. Coming back up, there was a steep hill going back up, and I thought, I never realized how steep this hill was. And as I was walking up, I heard Joe say, that's okay, keep going, it's good physical therapy. And I started laughing, and I finally made it to my truck, and got in my truck. And I have a little stool. I don't know if I've told you about my little stool that I have. It has a rope on it. I put it on the ground, step on the stool, step on the running bar of the truck, and then I get in the truck. That little stool is a step to my success. That little stool helps me to the next level, which is the running board of my truck. You can see my truck over here side, and you'll see the running board, that silver running board. So, and the stool is, and it's a rope that I use, and I climb up and down that stool. So when I'm in the truck, I pull that with a string, a rope, I pull it up back in the truck, and then I take off. Some people will laugh at me, but I say, you know what? That's the step that I need in order to get in my truck. If I allow people to make fun of me, if I allow people to make fun of what I'm doing, then I'm never going to be successful in my ways. I have to figure out my way. I have to figure out the way that I need to do things and overcome and bypass those obstacles. You have to find a way to overcome those obstacles. You have to find a way and not let them stop you from going forward. In life, we're going to encounter a lot of obstacles, language barriers, understanding barriers, little barriers, big barriers. What barriers do you have? What obstacles do you have? As I'm sitting here even talking to y'all right now, some of the worms have already disappeared that I was looking at, and they've made progress, and they've gone down deeper. So they've overcome those ants that I have around, and everybody's getting those ants. I've been watching them, and I'll watch them, and I'll think to myself, if they can do it, if God made them strong enough to do it, then by golly, He made me strong enough to overcome obstacles as well. There's times that I just want to give up, and I know there's times you want to give up, but you know what? I told people constantly, never give up, keep going. And now and then I'll get a message from somebody that says, Javier, keep going, don't stop. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, that was a past client. They said, you got this, don't worry, you got it. And that's what I taught, so that's what I'm teaching myself. The teacher is now learning from himself. So therefore, as we go through this, overcome those obstacles. And I'm gonna show you the worms once again. Off, the worms are pretty much gone. There's only about two or three that you can see right now. So they've overcome the obstacles slowly but surely. They've dug into the pot, and slowly but surely they've disappeared. They've overcome, and they were adjusting. And someday I'll be able to come back out here and go fish. Once again, Javier Franco, Perspective from My Porch, on my personal page. This is going to be a different video that I post on this page and my page of Steps for Success, and then my YouTube channel, which is called Perspective from My Porch, will also have a different video. Then also, there's going to be 3 different videos posted every week. So I'll talk to y'all later. Remember, love yourself, and that way you feel better about yourself.